As we begin another Vikings update, we are in the midst of basketball season here at VCSU, and we'll preview the conference season coming up later in the show. But first, indoor track and field is just around the corner. Valley City State opens its indoor track season coming up Saturday at the Northern State University Open in Aberdeen, South Dakota. It is one of 6 scheduled indoor track meets for the Vikings this winter. Moving on to basketball, a lot of scores to catch up on going back to Christmas. We'll start with the Viking women, who went 2-1 during their trip to Florida for the St. Thomas University Classic. The biggest win came when VCSU upset the number 7 team in the nation, College of St. Mary. The Vikings' loss on the trip came against number 12 Marian University. Back home, VCSU dropped a 73-54 game to Bemidji State University, an NCAA Division II school, on January 6th. And then the Vikings went on the road last weekend, sweeping a pair of games in Denver. They won 71-44 over Northern New Mexico, led by a career-high 19 points from Courtney Dixon, and then they completed the trip with a 73-66 win over Johnson and Wales. Georgia Williams led the offense with 19 points and 7 rebounds. The 2 wins have the Vikings record at 12-6 overall as they prepare to open conference play. Viking women are off until January 21st when they play at University of Jamestown in their conference opener. Vikings then host Presentation College on Saturday, January 24th. Joined on the Vikings update this week by Jill DeVries, head coach of the Valley City State women's basketball team. Coach, non-conference schedule is in the books. You guys wrapped it up with a pair of victories in Denver over Northern New Mexico, Johnson and Wales. You're 12-6 after non-conference. Your thoughts on that? If I told you you're 12-6 at the beginning of the year after non-conference, would you take that?
Yeah, I think so. And yet, I think we have a disappointing loss in that mix, or maybe even 2. And of course, we have some wins that are, really good wins too. So, I think so. Yeah. Mark, 12-6, there's nothing to sneeze about.
Yeah, your big win, number 7 College of St. Mary. You knocked them off in Florida over the Christmas break. That's got to be a huge win for your season, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. They have a Division I transfer who's a legitimate basketball player at that level, I would think. From Florida, played some games there, and I thought we played well. We defended well. And, we didn't shoot it very well. We shot 26% or 27% for the game that night. But we found a way down the stretch to make plays, and really proud of the girls because, that was our 3rd day in a row of having to play games.
Yeah, so again, 12-6 after the non-conference schedule, receiving votes in the latest top 25 poll. You shift now to conference play in the North Star Athletic Association. 10 games remaining in conference play. You open up January 21st at your rival, University of Jamestown. Always a good one over there. I know it's early, but what do you know about Jamestown so far?
Well, they're ranked 15th, I think, this week, or last week. I'm not sure how this works, but they're the defending champ. So until somebody beats them, they still are. And we anticipate that it'll be a really good, solid game by both teams. I know that our group of athletes are ready to go, and I think they are very disappointed in some of the outcomes of last year's game, in particular over in Jamestown. So both of us have 11 days to prepare and probably take a rest because both of us have been traveling a lot as well. So I know we need it.
When you look at coming into conference schedule, Valley City State, Jamestown, and Mayville State, kind of the 3 teams that look like they're at the top of the conference. But focusing on your team, are there any areas where you think you need to play better basketball down the stretch to go out and get that conference championship?
Well, we haven't been shooting it very well, and it's a kind of a fine line. I feel like we're really getting the looks we want, and it's not going in, and it's a tricky thing because I get a text from my dad after the game about free throws, and all the parents are like, yeah, if we could just make layups and free throws, and they act like we never practice them. It's just about focus and concentration, and sometimes you go through that little bit of a slump regardless of what the season is, and hopefully it's over and the kids can come back very well rested and focused here down the stretch for the 10 games that really count. Everybody's 0-0 right now.
Yeah. All right, Coach, appreciate the time. We are looking forward to what should be an exciting conference season.
I think so. All right. Thanks, Mark.
Jill DeVries, head coach of the Viking women. Viking men's basketball also went on the road over the Christmas break, playing 3 games in Florida and Puerto Rico, finished the trip with a 1-1 record, including a victory over University of Sacred Heart in Puerto Rico. One of the games was an exhibition contest. They followed that road trip with a trip to Denver last weekend, where the Vikings were 1-1. They lost 68-61 to McMurray University, an NCAA school from Texas. Vikings then closed with their 9th win of the year, 81-72 over Johnson and Wales. Jaden Ferguson, a monster game, double-double with 26 points and 12 rebounds, and Riley West had 16 points and 7 assists. Big week for Ferguson earned him the NSAA Men's Basketball Player of the Week award. He averaged 22 points and 9.5 rebounds in the week's 2 games. Congrats to Jaden. Viking men are now 9-9 overall. One last non-conference game Saturday at Grace University in Nebraska. Then conference play starts Wednesday, January 21st at University of Jamestown. Home opener in conference play comes up January 24th against Presentation College. Joined on the update now by Jeff Kaminsky, head coach of the Valley City State men's basketball team. Coach, coming off a 1-1 road trip in Colorado, ending with a victory over Johnson and Wales. That brings your record to 9-9. You're almost done with non-conference, 1 game left at Grace. What are your thoughts on your team so far as we're getting ready to approach conference season?
Well, road trip you mentioned. It seemed like we've been on nothing but road trips here lately, but that's okay. It's a good time to travel during break, and we've got such a young team. I think 9 out of our top 11 guys we play pretty much day in and day out are freshmen or sophomores, and so having a chance to go on the road and playing some pretty good non-conference opponents, I think has been really good for our team. And we're still evolving. You'd like to think this time of year you kind of know who you are, but we're not not quite there yet, and there's reasons for that, and I think that's okay. I think this is a group that is figuring out how to be as good a group as we can with the personnel we have, and we're looking forward to one more road trip before we start conference play.
Yeah, you talked about playing some good teams. I think if you look at the top 25 poll, you guys have played the number 2, the number 3, and the number 4 teams in the country right now. But you mentioned players evolving. Jaden Ferguson, freshman from Williston, he's turned into quite a scorer for you guys, averaging 23 points a game over his last 5. What is he doing well out on the court right now? Well,
he's just such a versatile scorer, and I think that's the best thing with him. He's a hard guy to defend. He can score inside, shoots the 3 rather well. He hasn't done a lot of that for us, but he's very capable, and is getting to the free throw line a lot more lately. So his versatility is going to make him a tough guy to match up with as we continue through the year and through his career. So we're excited about his development. I think early in the year, just a matter of him getting a feel for the game at this level and developing a confidence that he can have a lot of success at this level. So hopefully he's beyond that, and we've seen a lot of consistency from him scoring-wise, but even more so, I think he's made some strides on the defensive end and has helped us with some matchups, and we're excited about his continued development.
One more non-conference game Saturday at Grace University. Then you turn around and start conference play January 21st at Jamestown. As you go into conference play, what are a few things you're looking at that are keys to your team going out there and winning a conference championship?
Well, I think understanding the things that we do well and being able to do them more consistently, and that's been a little bit of a struggle for us, especially on the defensive end, where we've shown some strides here, where we've made some improvements, and we just need to do it consistently well. It doesn't seem like we've been able to put 40 minutes together, and that's something, if we do, we're going to be very difficult to beat, and I think a major factor once the league starts.
Okay, Coach, appreciate the time. Looking forward to conference season, and good luck rest of the way.
Thank you.
Some exciting news for fans as the January 21st basketball games at University of Jamestown will be televised live on BEK Sports Network. BEK will also host a viewing party for the games at the Valley Twin Cinema in Valley City and will stream the broadcast online at beksports.com. A complete listing of providers that carry the BEK Sports channel can be found at beksports.com. Time for our basketball conference preview of the North Star Athletic Association, and we'll start on the women's side. Mayville State, University of Jamestown, and Valley City State are currently bunched at the top of the standings with solid records entering conference play, followed by Dakota State, Presentation College, and Dickinson State. We'll start our preview with a look at the Comets, who are currently ranked 23rd in the top 25 poll. They live and die by the offense, scoring 83 points per game but allowing 72. Liza Hoglow has established herself as one of the best players in the conference, nearly averaging a double-double, and Jenna London has emerged as a sharpshooter for the Comets. Mayville will play VCSU on February 4th and February 18th. University of Jamestown was the preseason pick to win the conference, and so far they've been solid with a 13-5 overall record and number 15 national ranking. The Jimmies are scoring nearly 80 points per game and allowing 61. Players to watch include center Jessica Buck, who is averaging 16-6, and three-point shooter Chelsea Friedland. They'll play VCSU on January 21st and February 7th. The Vikings enter conference play with a 12-6 record and are receiving votes in the NAI poll. Vikings have done it defensively, allowing a conference-low 56 points per game this season. VCSU scores about 66 a game. A balanced offensive attack has been paced by Georgia Williams. Sierra Even has been a solid all-around force for VCSU, filling up numerous stat categories. Vikings have a victory over number 7 College of St. Mary, the only NSAA women's team that can claim a win over a top 10 opponent. Dakota State is currently 7-9 overall entering conference play. Players to watch for the Trojans include Brianna Olson and Cherie Galbraith, who are both averaging 12 points per game. They'll play the Vikings on January 28th and February 14th. Presentation College has a 5-7 overall record. They feature two of the top scorers in the conference. Haley Freilich leads the conference in scoring at 21.8 points per game, and Rachel Furman can also fill it up, averaging 14 points. The Saints will play VCSU January 24th and February 21st. Dickinson State University currently 5-11 record. The Blue Hawks are led by Lorna Shepard and Ashley Bentz, who are both averaging double-figure points. They'll take on the Vikings January 31st and February 11th. It should be a very evenly matched conference play in North Star Athletic Association women's basketball. Moving on to the men's side of the North Star Athletic Association, leading the way so far is the University of Jamestown, the defending conference champions. The Jimmies have won 8 straight games and lead the conference with a 12-5 overall record. Presentation and Mayville are also both above 500. The Jimmies are averaging 85 points a game, led by the top scorer in the conference, Berquan Tucker. He's averaging 21.8 points per game and has knocked down 37 threes. Jake Hagler has been solid at the point guard spot for the Jimmies, averaging 11 points and shooting 41% on threes. The Jimmies have the conference's most impressive win so far this season, defeating then number 4 ranked Davenport, Michigan. The Jimmies will play the Vikings coming up January 21st and February 7th. Presentation College off to a solid season so far with a 9-4 record. They're scoring 87.6 points a game, but also allowing 79. Players to watch include Jeremy Comer, who is averaging 19 points, and Cameron Israel, who has made 36 threes and is scoring 17 points a game. They take on VCSU January 24th and February 21st. Mayville State University has also been a surprise in the early season, jumping out to a 10-5 overall record. Players to watch include center Chuck Robinson. He's averaging 17 points and 9 rebounds. The Comets have a win over a solid Viterbo University team. Mayville will play the Vikings February 4th and February 18th. The Vikings currently sit at 500 with a 9-9 overall record. They're averaging 75 points a game, led by freshman Jaden Ferguson. He's scoring at a clip of 15 points per game, averaging 23 points over the last 5 contests is Jaden Ferguson. Point guard Riley West has been a difference maker as well, scoring 11 and dishing out 3 assists per game. Dickinson State University has a 7-9 record so far this season. Players to watch include Connor Donaldson, averaging 14 points and 8 rebounds, while also making 43 threes. The Blue Hawks have some good wins over Montana teams, ranked or receiving votes in the NAI Division I Top 25 poll. Dickinson plays VCSU on January 31st and February 11th. Dakota State University, which was one of the preseason favorites, slow start. They're currently 5-11 overall. The Trojans do have a recent impressive win over number 8 ranked Midland University, so they've proven themselves a dangerous team, led by Brian Allen at 13 points and Miguel Sansevor at 12 points and 7 rebounds. Trojans play VCSU January 28th and February 14th. The first night of conference games will feature Presentation College at Dakota State, VCSU at Jamestown, and Mayville at Dickinson. Then the second night comes up Saturday, January 24th. Presentation is at VCSU, Jamestown is at Mayville, and Dakota State is at Dickinson. All conference games are men's and women's doubleheaders. That does it for this week's edition of Vikings Update.